Okay, welcome back to Procurement and Supply Chain Live Singapore 2025. Now remember, you can find the whole lineup for the show today just in that sidebar on your screen. Along there you can find all the speaker biographies and also the networking functions as well. All of that on that sidebar up on your screen now. Okay, let's move on to our first fireside chat of the show today with Sean Wu, former SVP of Manufacturing and Supply Chain at 3M. We are talking procurement and supply chain strategies. A speaker with great experience and plenty to chat about. Hi Sean, how are you? Good to see you again.
I'm good.
Jolly good indeed. Right, as I said, we've got plenty to dig into, so let's get started. Where I want to start is from a very broad point of view, first of all. And for you, you have a huge amount of experience, as I was saying, but I'd love to know what you consider to be a great and effective procurement and supply chain strategy as we start 2025. For you, what jumps out as a great strategy?
Sure. Yeah, before I talk about strategy, I want to talk about kind of trending of the supply chain scope. I would say these days, supply chain job getting bigger, larger, more critical. Just think about a business. Today, business are looking for growth, the top lines. They want the supply chain to support, get perfect customer experience, right? Support all the new product launch. Right? Business want bottom line growth, right? They want more margins, want supply chain make procurements, more saving get from supply base, right? More efficient from our supply chains. Then business look for capital efficiency. They don't want to hold too much in inventories. Right? Given last couple of years, what we learned from supply chain crisis, COVID, then business also looking for a resilient supply chains. Then you can talk about ESG sustainability on the table as well. So you can imagine, right? These days, business demand supply chain much more than before. So when I'm thinking about supply chain strategy, what should be the right supply strategy? First things, always supply chain need to recognize what is requirement from the business, right? What is a strategy business they put in place, right? To make sure supply chain strategy is connected, aligned to the business strategy, where you can see if the company have a perfect alignment between the supply strategy and the business strategy, more and more efficiency, more powers who can help the business to achieve all their objective. Right. Second things I want to highlight is, right, as the supply chain leaders, you need complete understand what's going on in the marketplace, what's going on in the business, right? So these are these two things. First, you understand what business want, what's the dynamic in the marketplace, right? To align your strategy into a business strategy. That's the key. I would say this is the first thing you say is a good strategy. Then you're talking about execution, resources, or other things.
Well, let's talk about that alignment. Let's dig into that a little bit more. From you, where are the common mistakes there? If you're trying to align your procurement and supply chain strategy with the business strategy, from your experience, where can people go wrong? Where can the mistakes be to stop there being an effective alignment?
So I would say my experience from the past, the mistake people often made in this alignment is, I say, miscommunications, right? For example, as a procurement guy, I always think their first priority is get savings. Yes, savings is very important. Sometimes procurement teams miss a chance to reach out to business, ask what they need, what they see the procurement, what kind of power they believe procurement can help or supply chain can help grow the business, right? That is something piece miss, right? The procurement in one side, they feel they did everything, they have their own KPIs, right? The KPI talking about savings, drive the payment, all those, this is all important, but they miss the chance to talk to the business, see how they see their performance, how they see the connections. So I would say that is the mistake I often see the organization make.
And the second point you were making there is making sure that you are fully across the business, really understanding the business. Again,
Correct.
easier said than done sometimes, isn't it? Particularly with such sprawling supply chains, the complexities of technology. Again, your advice there from your experience, how do you get to that position where you feel you are on top of the business? You feel you understand all of those critical aspects?
Yeah, I would say I'm sure that these days people are talking about how can we get myself into the tables, right? Into the business for the decisions. So that is very important for procurement leaders or supply leaders, other than they drive their own performance day by day. I encourage all the supply leaders or procurement leaders find a chance to join business meetings, participate in it, even if they have a chance to join the meeting with customers, where they can understand what's going on in the business, what's their pain point, right? The pain point is very key. Right? For example, I give you the perfect examples, the COVID, right? The crisis, what happened 2 years ago. I believe many people can't forget that, right? So one of the things people when ask me, Sean, what do you learn from this? What do you think most important to manage such crisis? I think make sure my own explanation, you always align with business, be transparent, talk with them as a team instead of should I say, hey, you didn't do your job, I didn't do my job, right? Don't do any finger point. Work with the business, understand business pain points, always ask, hey, what do you need from us? Where you can see the connection. Surely, in the company, always you can see teams still will kind of a little bit compete each other, but as long as you have this mindset, right? Sit with business. Of course, another thing I want to highlight here, other than connecting the leaders, then technology, right? How you build your dashboards, data to be transparent between your procurement supply chain and the business, where it also can help the business can see what's the real performance with the data. I just pause here. I hope I answer your questions.
Oh, absolutely. Another point you made very early on was about the key trend of resilience at the moment. From your perspective, how do you look to achieve that more often than not? Because again, it's easier said than done. For you, is it a technology question? Is it a people question? Is it a supply relationship question? Where do you feel it sits?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't have perfect solution these days. Yeah, we all learn from market from last couple of years, right? It's crazy. Right? You can name number of things. Global supply chain crisis. You can't move containers, right? Then you start with tariff, right? Tariff war. You're talking about 4 or 5 years ago, right? Then you got COVID, got the wars, got all the inflation. So these days, I would say company really raised the importance of resilience even much more than before. So my opinion or my learning from past is resilience has to be one of the key strategy for the supply chain, even for the business, right? From the past, normally, if I remember right, talking about 5, 10 years ago, resilience, yeah, people just doing some Excel sheet, check the mark. But these days, you need to do the real work, real assessments, like you just mentioned. Assess where's your customer, right? What's your footprint, your plant footprint, your customer footprint, your supply footprint? How is the what we learn, right? All these geopolitical challenges, risks. Is your current footprint, your current network is good enough to deal with it, right? Some of the simple trending these days, we are seeing every company doing, right? Either you call China plus one, or, try to make sure we got the more, not only put all the eggs in one basket, right? You want to have manufacturing. These regions also want to have manufacturing. Another region, supplier, dual source, all those, right? These days, I would say you need to raise the importance of resilience and invest the resources, even sometimes may short-term raise your costs, but strategically you have to do that. This is what I always say to the audience. This is what happened, to be honest.
Absolutely. And you touch on the geopolitical issues at the moment, and we absolutely do not want to get into politics right now. But
Absolutely.
absolutely not. But it is the elephant in the room, I suppose, about how global trade is suddenly looking challenging for various reasons right now. Advice for people from your perspective about how you can protect yourself a little. Is it having those strategies, as you say, China plus one or similar? Is it making sure you future-proof yourself as much as possible for what is a very uncertain climate at the moment?
Sure. So the way I summarize a couple of things, right? The first I just already mentioned, make sure your company have very clear data to help you understand where your whole network works globally, right? How is your important customer, where's your manufacturing plant, where's your key supply base. So first you need to know where you are, right? Second, like you said, absolutely I don't want to talk about politics, but to be honest, as a supply chain leader, you cannot avoid understanding what's going on, right? So some trending is very clear these days is we call regionalizations, right? You can see all the companies start thinking about, instead in the past it's called global supply. These days it's more like, bring the supply chain back closer, right? Where you can avoid the more risk and also look at dual sourcing. This way, the way I would see the procurement or supply team this is, first, you need to have very good IT system or digital system to help you understand, very clear understand, you can push button, don't have to ask for 10 different people this question, understand where your supply base, right? Where's your manufacturing plants, how you move the parts, right? Second is whenever you develop your new supply chain, make sure you really consider the geopolitical risk, right? Some simple solution is just bring the nearshore, right, close to your customers, or sometimes also maybe incur a little bit higher cost, but sometimes worth it. But it's based on what we learned last couple of years.
Absolutely, that's definitely a lesson we've all learned from that. I did want to get onto technology and innovation briefly with you, because it's amazing how often a procurement and supply chain event very much gets into technology, because it is so critical for what we do now. From your experience, how do you go about making sure you've got the right tech partners and technical solutions in place to give yourself the most effective operation you can? How was your approach always been to that?
I don't think I'm an expert in this area, but my answer is, first, I will try to make myself connect to those experts, try to understand, right? Talking about technology in the procurements, right? It's very different from traditional ERPs, right? People will think about, when talking about a company IT system, right? First, people think about ERPs, SAPs, Oracles. But when talking about supply chain, a lot of collaboration with your external partners, your suppliers, your logistics providers, right? Your customer, even sometimes, to connect those. So I would say the technology nowadays is evolving, right? You can see a lot of collaboration tools to allow you to talk to your suppliers, your customers, your partners in real time, right? So if ask me, I would say make sure you make yourself always open to see what's going on in the marketplace, right? I give a perfect example these days, AI. I'm very sure that all the AI technology will definitely change the way we manage the procurement from past, supply chain from past. So these days, even personally, I try to play around all these, right, newer AI tools. You can say ChatGPT, DeepSeek, how that works, right? So as a leader, I also want to get a sense around how those new technology will change my life, the way I'm learning the things, and also the way I'm doing my business.
What amazes me is if I look back on events we did, say in 2023, and our conversations about AI or Gen AI and the tools then.
Yeah.
I was actually watching some of those shows back the other day when I was prepping for this event, and it almost feels rather quaint the way we were discussing some of those subjects. It's amazing how things have moved on. I do want to talk about sustainability within a procurement and supply chain strategy. For you, when you are reviewing strategies, making sure they are fit for purpose for now, How do you incorporate sustainability into that? Because again, the way of the world at the moment, things are maybe evolving slightly. How do you make sure it's fit for purpose for now?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, first short answer is sustainability has to be part of your procurement or supply chain. Has to be. It's not something I just made checkbox. Has to be, right? Also, think about in supply chain or procurements, the risk of sustainability cost can be huge, right? So we know that too many cases in the marketplace, right? Company missed the regulation, environmental, end up big fine, reputation, like company mishandling the supply base, supply may, not follow the regulation, all those, right? Just think about ESG, normally we will touch few areas, particularly for procurement and the supply chain, right? First, you want to make sure you are encourage your partners, even our own designers, right? Think about recycling, right? What's the green, environmental friendly materials, right? Can help save those, right? Second, make sure we follow all the regulation, whether it's our supply base, our own factories, your partners, we put everything according to the regulation, local, right? Then human rights, labor laws, right? The company has to be very clear process. I know that I work in 3M or Eaton, all those companies have very rigid process. Make sure wherever new supply, you qualify your source, you have to check those, right? So the short answer is ESG has to be part of your strategy, and the ESG not only check the box, collect some data. You also need to do check what's going in the supply base, right? Have the checking process, audit process. In the same time, also encourage always need to think about recycling, right? Use the green materials. These are procurement team or supply really also can help the drive those.
And my final question, Sean, will be looking to the future, because I know it's a cliche, but the world is changing, well, faster than ever. The pace of acceleration feels like it's been turbocharged in recent months. How do you go about making sure your strategies are future-proofed as much as possible? What's always been your approach to that?
Yeah, that's very tough questions. Think about what's happened last couple of years. So I would say most important, right? So I try to share, right? This is also my own learning experience, right? From past, normally we say, yeah, I can put a strategy for next 5 years. Yes, whenever we put strategy, we will think about, normally we will think about 5 years as a horizon, right, for the strategy. But nowadays, given all the, what's happening in the marketplace, right? What's happening in the technology place, right? It requires refresh this strategy even more frequent, right? So if you ask me each year, you don't have to redo your strategy, but at least maybe every 6 months, every 12 months, you want to look at all the key direction, key actions, key projects, right, from the strategy. You may not necessarily change the strategy, but the key actions, key project from the strategy may need to change or may need to change the priority given what's happened in the marketplace, what happened in the regulation world, what happened in the geopolitical environments, right? This is something I will encourage team to do. But I don't think there's any magic to say you can foresee what's happening in the 5 years, right? You just need to have a mechanism to review the strategy more frequent than used to.
It's that built-in agility, which is absolutely key. Yeah, I used to always ask the question, where are things going to be in 5 years? But I would not be that mean to you, Sean. Thank you so much for joining us here at Procurement and Supply Chain Live Singapore. Always enjoy what you have to say.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate, really enjoy these sessions.